Hey, what's up guys? Nathan Waitinas at Thayer Honda here. We're doing our new car review this week on the 2021 Honda Pilot Elite. With the panoramic moonroof, rear entertainment system, ventilated seats, and more, with Honda offering 0% up to 48 months, this car is a deal. If you can find one, time to scoop one up right now. Let's take a look at this thing. All right, and here we have the 2021 Honda Pilot Elite. Lots more chrome on this one than some of the standard ones. And of course, you've got the full LED, both high beam and low beam headlights. Beautiful 20-inch alloy wheels all the way around. Nice Continental Cross Sport. And of course, coming to the back, you have their parking sensors all the way along the back as well. And of course, Elite badging, as this is the Elite. Now this vehicle has the hands-free power access tailgate, so you can press that to open it up, or you can also kick right underneath of the tailgate here. And when you do that, it'll open up, so you've got tons of easy access to the rear seats. These two rear seats, you can lay them down nice and flat. Tons of space. There's floor mats right there. And then of course, more storage underneath of here. You can also drop this into the lower position. And you've got a nice little cubby where things aren't going to be rolling around. And they do make some nice cargo dividers, by the way, that you can get that fit right in there as well. And I really am a big fan of the seat back protectors that you can get for the Pilot as well. Give you some extra protection. You've got tons of tie down points along the ends over here, so you can tie things down, keep them nice and secure. Tons of adequate ventilation for your rear seat occupants. And of course, this has the giant panoramic moonroof. That gives a really nice view of the sky for the kids or anyone else riding in the back there. So in addition to the backup camera, you do also have the parking sensors in the back here as well, giving you a little bit more confidence when you're parking the car. And as we enter, you have the two captain's chairs set up for the Pilot Elite. And by the way, these are heated seats here on the two outbound chairs here as well. So you can heat those. Super easy access to the heating and ventilation controls for the rear seat passengers. And I love that you've got an AC power outlet and 2.5 amp power outlets, plenty of headphone jacks, and an HDMI port if you're plugging in a laptop or something else in the back. And of course, the controls for the rear entertainment system. Very, very spacious. These seats, you can lay them down flat, and they do move forward and back, giving you a little bit more legroom for the rear seats if you need it. Latch system is standard as well over here, and the wireless headphones are really nice. These batteries, I've had a customer turn these in. They used them pretty regularly. They said they didn't have to replace the batteries very often, maybe about once a year when they're using them pretty regularly. So that's really good to have there. And of course, you expect privacy blind over there to be able to pull up. And now you do have the mirrors. They can fold in. Easy to fold them back out as well. You've got power adjustment here on your passenger side as well. And these are perforated leather seats with the ventilation over here. Very, very nice to have that in the summertime. Of course, 2% seat position memory. It is tied to each driver's key fob. Let's get in here, start it up. It's in the 80s here in Bowling Green, so we really appreciate these ventilated seats right now. Tri-zone climate control, very, very easy to use. As you saw in the back there, you have very easy access for the kids to use that as well. And there is a button right there for the rear lock, so if you have them mess around with the buttons a little bit too much, it's really easy to just press that lock button over there. So Honda's infotainment system, very, very easy to use. This does have the Garmin-based GPS navigation system built in, standard from Honda. I really love that you can do updates over the air now, so you don't have to do everything directly plugging everything in. Of course, Blu-ray player, standard for that rear entertainment system. Really love that. And then of course you have your connection for your smartphone, whether you're using the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto system. Very, very user friendly. This built-in GPS is great, but I have tons of customers that love the built-in Apple CarPlay or Android Auto because they can use their Waze or other maps on there as well. So you do have your Sirius XM, of course, that's pretty expected. Social playlists, that's a really neat feature that Honda has. So multiple people can be playing their own kind of music in the car, adds it to the playlist, next, next, next. Great when you have a big family in the back and everybody wants to have their own kind of music to listen to. You do have an Att Mobile Hotspot in this vehicle as well. Super nice to have that when you're on the road. You got the kids in the back and they've got their laptops plugged in, iPads, what have you. It's great for businessmen as well if you want to know that you have a secure connection when you need to park in a parking lot and make that Zoom call. Cabin talk is great, so if you have kids in the back and they're listening or they're watching something on the rear entertainment system back there, you can always just override them and make sure that they're going to hear you, and you don't have to be turning around and yelling to hear them. However, of course, if you do want to look and see what's going on, you do still have the good old conversation mirror. What's up, guys? So good to have that. You have your home link system, standard right there, easy to program that, and your automatic dimming rear view mirror. Very, very nice. And as I mentioned, you do have blind spot system here as well near the mirrors. And if you want to fold the mirrors out, just like so. Another neat trick about the backup camera in the mirrors here, if you were to select the left side, and then I'll go ahead and put it in reverse, you'll have that rear mirror tilt down. Back in park, and it'll tilt back up. Of course, if you wanted to have the other side tilt down, same deal. Switch it to the right side, and that right side will tilt down so you can see better. Really, really useful to have that. Now, I've pointed out this safety feature quite a few times, but when you're in drive or reverse, say right now I'm not buckled up, but I'm going to go ahead and open up the door. And just like that, the car is going to automatically put itself into park. I really, really love that feature. So many distractions these days, kids and everything running around. You want to be able to know that, hey, if you can't feel where that shift lever is, you're going to put it into park automatically when you open up that door when you're unbuckled. Next thing we'll go over real briefly here is all of our safety suite, how to activate these systems. You've got a button right here. When you press main, you'll see on your screen right there, ACC LKAS shows up. That's letting you know that your adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist are on standby and ready to be activated. Press that button right there, and you'll see those markings show up for the lane keeping assist. Now that system's going to be on between 45 and 90 miles per hour. The system will automatically keep you centered in the middle of the lane. It's much like a cruise control for the steering. That's how I liken it. It's not something that you expect the car to drive for you, but it does make those longer trips so much more comfortable. Other things you've got going on over here on the side, parking sensors, if you want to turn those on, very easy to have that. That's going to turn on the road departure mitigation system. Now that's very similar to the lane keeping assist. However, this is more of a safety-based system that when you have it turned on, it's always going to be running in the background, looking out for those lane markings to keep you safe and comfortable. Now, these buttons are interesting. So the vehicle stability assist and your collision mitigation braking system, in order to turn those off, you have to actually press and hold for about 2 seconds in order for them to actually turn all the way off, because it has to be a very intentional thing. Honda intends to have you have those on all the time, so it's good to have that on anyways. Other buttons, you've got your standard cruise control, your set, resume, and cancel, and this third button right here, your interval button, to adjust that following distance, and it's going to adjust it based off of your vehicle speed, of course, compared to the vehicle in front of you. Heated steering wheel, oh man, it's already warm because it's Ohio in the summertime, but it's great to have that in the wintertime as well. And of course, can't forget to mention that wireless charging pad. Very, very convenient. Just drop your phone on there and it'll charge up anytime. All right, guys, let's take it out for a spin and see how this Pilot drives. First off, gotta turn out the backup camera. because somebody forgot their dealer plate sitting over there. Okay, now we're good to go. Such a smooth sound. I love the V6 that Honda makes. This 3.5 liter V6, Honda's been making some iteration of it for, geez, what feels like 20 years now, and it just sounds nice. I mean, you don't have to put very much foot in your throttle into it to really get it going, and it just has a really just a very linear kind of progression when you start going. You know, I get used to driving these, you know, some of these smaller turbo 4-cylinder engines like the 1.5 turbo that you find in the Civic, or the 1.5 turbo in the Accord, or the 2.0 turbo in the Accord. It's still, you know, they have a ton of torque down low. This one still has plenty of torque. I mean, it's a nice V6, and it's made it the transmission that, you know, is so smooth that Honda has in this vehicle. But there's just something about driving that nice big naturally aspirated V6 that just does something that those 4 cylinders can't sometimes. And there's that lane keeping assist taking over, just kind of holding you center in the middle of the road. No hands. Okay. I don't own the car, so let's put my hands on the wheel. They've really improved the visibility on the Pilot. I mean, I know a lot of people that have talked about the previous generation before, when they had the bigger, boxier kind of look to it. But man, those just weren't very easy to see in the back of. You still have nice big mirrors here, these blind spot monitoring systems. You know, when you're actually driving day to day, I think it's such a big improvement over the old Honda lane watch system that they used to have. And just everything's so intuitive and easy to get to. It seems like nowadays, you know, you've got bigger and bigger screens going right there. But you know what? I'm happy that you've got easy to use home buttons. Volume knob still right there to quickly turn off and on. And the way that Honda makes changes, it's gradual, and it's so that anyone who's had a Pilot in the last, you know, 15 years, you're gonna get in, you're gonna know where the switches are. Everything's gonna feel just right for you. And that's one of the things I love about Honda. They might be a little bit slow to change, but when they do, they make sure that they're doing it right. Alright, while we're waiting here at this light, I guess we can take a look at a couple more things. Or we're waiting here at the stop sign, I should say. So you've got your different drive modes. Choose your normal, snow, mud, or sand. Super useful. Most of the time, 99% of the time, you'll be fine to leave it into normal. And then this display that we've got pulled up right here, that's going to show where the torque is being pushed for your IVTM4 system. So Honda has one of the most advanced all-wheel drive systems. Now this has, of course, independent suspension in the back and the front, and as you see there, it'll show you where the torque's being pushed as you get going. And in the first few miles per hour, you're going to see torque going to the back and the front. And then once you get up to a nice cruising speed, it's basically going to limit that to the front, and you're just going to be cruising mostly on front wheel drive for efficiency. And there's the idle stop going on right there. When you see that little A over there, that's letting you know that the vehicle has actually turned itself off, turned off the engine, of course. Then we're going to put our foot on the gas and it starts right back up. Honda's version of this, it is actually hardly noticeable, especially on this V6. You really don't notice it. I mean, you hear it get quieter, but it's not going to leave you really wanting that much get up and go. Of course, like I showed you earlier, you can always press this button right down here to turn that system off, and then you'll be all set and it won't turn off the vehicle when you come to a stop. But hey, it's great there if you want to save a little bit more gas. So as we pull back in, final driving impressions on the Pilot Elite. If I had to get a Pilot, this is the one that I would love to get. You've got all the room and the utility that you need. You've got the comfort. I mean, honestly, some of the features in here, I think it tops a lot of what Acura has to offer. The touchscreen's so much easier to use compared to some of the other brands out there. You don't have a weird, confusing, where you have a pad down low and then you've got a touchscreen up top to use. Very intuitive. And really this design, obviously it's refreshed for 2021 quite a bit. But they've been making some version of this for so long right now that I'm so confident this would be a very reliable vehicle to take you and your family out to 200, 300, however many thousand miles you want it to go. And they hold their value great, so something like this is going to be a great deal for it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video on the Pilot Elite here at Thayer Honda. If you or someone you know is in the market for this vehicle, please don't wait too long. Give us a call at 419-354-2222 or visit us at ThayerHonda.com or give us a shout on Facebook. Appreciate you watching. Have a wonderful rest of your week. See you guys.